Good afternoon. We'll call this meeting the Allegheny County Board of Legislators to order for August 28, 2024. Please rise as we're led in the Pledge of Allegiance by Legislator Adam Sear.
Good afternoon. Please join me. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain upstanding as we're led in invocation by Legislator Gretchen Hanchett.
Father, as we gather here today, we acknowledge the challenges that we face. Let us be guided by the spirit of unity and collaboration, recognizing that our strength lies in collective resolve and dedication to the common good. May we approach our decisions with open minds and compassionate hearts, always striving to make decisions that reflect the values and commitments that we are being the well-being of our residents. Let us be mindful of the diverse participants and experience that lie with each of us that we bring to the table. Let our deliberations be marked by respect, integrity, and genuine desire to serve. In these challenging times, may we find wisdom and courage to navigate the complexities before us, and may our efforts today contribute to an optimistic, more resilient future for the communities that we serve. Amen.
Amen. Thank you both. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Mr. Barnes.
Present.
Mrs. Burdick. Here. Mr. Curran.
Here.
Mr. Sear.
Present.
Mr. Demick.
Here.
Mr. Fanton.
Here.
Mrs. Hanchett.
Here.
Mr. Harris.
Here.
Mr. Havey.
Here.
Mr. Healy.
Here.
Mr. Rickey. Mrs. Ricketts Swales.
Here.
Mrs. Root.
Here.
Mr. Rumthal. Mr. Stockin. 13 present, 2 absent.
Thank you.
You were provided a copy of the Committee of the Whole meeting minutes of August 7th. At this time, we need a motion to approve those minutes.
Mr. Fanton makes the motion, seconded by Legislator Hanchett. Discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Those are carried.
We were also provided a copy of the board meeting minutes of August 14th, and we need a motion to approve those minutes.
Mr. Curran makes the motion, seconded by Legislator Healy. Any additions or corrections? If not, all those in favor say aye. Opposed? And those are approved. We've designated this time in our meeting for public comment. Are there any members of the public that wish to address the board at this time? Seeing none, anything on our desks today?
Yes, the September 2024 calendar is on your desk. Are there going to be any changes? We did move the September 11th Ways and Means and Board meeting to Thursday, September 12th, to accommodate those attending the NISAC conference. We've added a Committee of the Whole at 9 a.m. on September 18th. And a special public safety meeting at 12:45 on September 18th. Also is a Committee of the Whole at 10 a.m. on September 25th, and a Budget Committee meeting at 9 a.m. on Thursday, September 26th.
And a special, or not a special, but a space needs study work session to be determined?
We need to determine that, yes, but we've got it kind of filled up.
Other than that, not much going on, right?
County Attorney Allison Carroll filed her designation of succession to the office of Allegheny County Attorney, naming Second Assistant County Attorney Aaron G. Moore as first in the line of succession. Pursuant to Article 11 of the New York State Real Property Tax Law, County Treasurer Terry Ross filed a certificate of withdrawal of delinquent tax lien for property in the town of Angelica in my office on August 21st. The New York Municipal Insurance Reciprocal, NYMIR, forwarded a copy of their 2023 annual report. New York State Board on Electric Generation Siting in the Environment, August 5th order adopting terms of consent order agreement regarding the Alley Cat Wind Energy LLC's application for a certificate of environmental compatibility and public need. And also pursuant to Article 11 of the New York State Real Property Tax Law, County Treasurer Terry Ross filed a certificate of withdrawal of delinquent tax lien for property in the town of Angelica in my office on August 27th.
Resolutions?
Resolution intro number 33124. Designating Community Bank N.A. as depository for county clerk funds, authorizing county clerk, deputy county clerk 2, and deputy county clerk 3 to access such funds. This resolution is being offered by the Personnel Committee and has committee approval.
Motion made by legislator Ricketts Swales, seconded by legislator Hanchett. Discussion? This resolution can be voice voted. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? That's carried.
Resolution intro number 33224. Approval of appropriation for district operations and agreement between the County of Allegheny and the Allegheny County Soil and Water Conservation District for management of county reforestation areas, parks, and agricultural districts for a 3-year term, authorizing the chairman of the board to execute said agreement. This resolution is being offered by the Resource Management and Ways and Means Committees and has both committees' approval.
Motion made by legislator Curran, seconded by legislator Fanton. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Demick?
Yes.
Mr. Fanton?
Yes.
Mrs. Hanchett?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Havey?
Yes.
Mr. Healy?
Yes.
Mrs. Ricketts Swales?
Yes.
Mrs. Root?
Yes.
Mr. Stockin?
Yes.
Mr. Barnes?
Aye.
Mrs. Burdick?
Yes.
Mr. Curran?
Yes.
Mr. Seer?
Yes.
13 ayes, 2 absent.
That's approved.
Resolution intro number 33324. Acceptance of New York State Division of Criminal Justice Services fiscal year 24-25 pretrial services grant for the probation department. This resolution is being offered by the Public Safety and Ways and Means Committees and has both committees' approval.
Motion made by legislator Havey, seconded by legislator Seer. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Demick?
Yes.
Mr. Fanton?
Yes.
Mrs. Hanchett?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Havey?
Yes.
Mr. Healy?
Yes.
Mrs. Ricketts Swales?
Yes.
Mrs. Root?
Yes.
Mr. Stockin?
Yes.
Mr. Barnes?
Aye.
Mrs. Burdick?
Yes.
Mr. Curran?
Yes.
Mr. Seer?
Yes.
13 ayes, 2 absent.
That resolution is approved.
Resolution intro number 33424. Oops. Approval of agreements with the County of Allegheny for general trades work, mechanical work, plumbing work, and electrical work for the Conflict Defender Office Building renovation project for the Department of Public Works. Authorizing the chairman of the board to execute said agreements, appropriation of indigent legal services grant funds, and approval and transfer of American Rescue Plan Act funds for said project. This resolution is being offered by the Public Works and Ways and Means Committees and has both committees' approval.
Motion by legislator Fanton, seconded by legislator Demick. Discussion? Mr. Barnes?
I'm going to be voting against this. Way too much money for a 150-year-old house, for offices for 3 people. Just doesn't make sense to me. And we talk about state money, federal money, local money. It all comes out, we all pay all those taxes, so it's a waste, in my opinion, so I will be voting no.
Thank you. Further discussion? Legislator Root?
I think it does, if you look at this, it might sound like a lot of money, and it is a lot of money. I'm not going to say it's not. But I think when you look at other options, and we've looked at all the other options, we've looked at tearing it down. Tearing it down is going to cost us probably more than what we are expending here today. And building a brand-new building is going to be twice the amount of money of what we're going to be expending here today. So I'm going to vote for this, even though it sounds like a awful amount of money to do, but fiscally, it seems to make the most sense to me. Thank you.
Thank you. Legislator Fenton?
Yeah, we started down this road by doing a study, and we looked at how much it could actually save us in the long run compared to the services we're using now. So I fully believe that in the long run, this is cost effective, even though I'm overwhelmed with the cost, but in the long run, from what we studied, it'll save us money, so I'm going to be a yes.
Legislator Hanchett?
Yes, I realize that this is quite a bit of money, but as both Legislator Root and Legislator Fenton pointed out, in the long run, it will be saving us money. We are not using $800,000 of local money for that. You know, we could send it back, but somebody else uses it for mandates. Plus, I like the idea that we're utilizing buildings that we have. We're not pulling anything off the tax roll to use it. So I will be voting yes for this.
Thank you. Further comment? If not, roll call, please.
Mr. Demick?
Yes.
Mr. Fenton?
Yes.
Mrs. Hanchett?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Havy?
Yes.
Mr. Healy?
Yes.
Mrs. Ricketts Swales?
Yes.
Mrs. Root?
Yes.
Mr. Stockin?
Yes.
Mr. Barnes?
No.
Mrs. Burdick?
No.
Mr. Curran?
No.
Mr. Seer?
Yes.
10 ayes, 3 noes, 2 absent.
That resolution is approved.
Resolution intro number 33524. Approval of modified driveway pipe agreement for use by the Department of Public Works. This resolution is being offered by the Public Works Committee and has committee approval.
Motion made by Legislator Fenton, seconded by Legislator Demick. Discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Demick?
Yes.
Mr. Fenton?
Yes.
Mrs. Hanchett?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Havy?
Yes.
Mr. Healy?
Yes.
Mrs. Ricketts Swales?
Yes.
Mrs. Root?
Yes.
Mr. Stockin?
Yes.
Mr. Barnes?
Aye.
Mrs. Burdick?
Yes.
Mr. Curran?
Yes.
Mr. Seer?
Yes.
13 ayes, 2 absent.
And that's approved.
Resolution intro number 33624. Approval of agreement between the County of Allegheny and Clean Harbors Environmental Services Incorporated for 2024 household hazardous waste collection services for the Department of Public Works, authorizing the chairman of the board to execute said agreement. This resolution is being offered by the Public Works Committee and has committee approval.
Motion by Mr. Fenton, seconded by Mr. Demick. Discussion? Mr. Healy?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. I just want to state this is probably one of the best programs we put on for DPW. It benefits all our citizens of the county. It's very cost effective to both us and to the citizens and provides a needed service. Thank you.
It's a green initiative.
That too, yes.
Further discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Demick?
Yes.
Mr. Fenton?
Yes.
Mrs. Hanchett?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Havy?
Yes.
Mr. Healy?
Yes.
Mrs. Ricketts Swales?
Yes.
Mrs. Root?
Yes.
Mr. Stockin?
Yes.
Mr. Barnes?
Aye.
Mrs. Burdick?
Yes.
Mr. Curran?
Yes.
Mr. Seer?
Yes.
13 ayes, 2 absent.
That's approved.
Resolution intro number 33724. Approval of agreement between the County of Allegheny and the New York State Department of Agriculture and Markets Petroleum Product Quality Program Grant for the Department of Public Works, ratifying the chairman of the board's signature on said agreement. This resolution is being offered by the Public Works Committee and has committee approval.
Motion by Legislator Fenton, seconded by Legislator Demick. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Demick?
Yes.
Mr. Fanton?
Yes.
Mrs. Hanchett?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Havey?
Yes.
Mr. Healy?
Yes.
Mrs. Ricketts Swales?
Yes.
Mrs. Root?
Yes.
Mr. Stockin?
Yes.
Mr. Barnes?
Aye.
Mrs. Burdick?
Yes.
Mr. Curran?
Yes.
Mr. Seer?
Yes.
13 ayes, 2 absent.
That resolution's approved.
Resolution intro number 33824. Approval of agreement between the County of Allegheny and Hunt Engineers, Architects, Land Surveyors, and Landscape Architect DPC for the Facilities Evaluation Study of 55 Chamberlain Street for the Department of Public Works, authorizing the chairman of the board to execute said agreement. This resolution is being offered by the Public Works Committee and has committee approval.
Moved by legislator Fanton, seconded by legislator Demick. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Demick?
Yes.
Mr. Fanton? Mrs. Hanchett?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Havey?
Yes.
Mr. Healy?
Yes.
Mrs. Ricketts Swales?
Yes.
Mrs. Root?
Yes.
Mr. Stockin?
Yes.
Mr. Barnes?
Aye.
Mrs. Burdick?
Yes.
Mr. Curran?
Yes.
Mr. Seer?
Yes.
13 ayes, 2 absent.
And that's approved.
Resolution intro number 33924, authorizing responsibility for compliance with the Federal Transit Administration Transit Asset Management Rule to the county administrator. Authorizing the county administrator to execute transit asset management annual reports and other necessary compliance documentation. This resolution is being offered by the Ways and Means Committee and has committee approval.
Motion by legislator Stockin, seconded by legislator Fanton. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Demick?
Yes.
Mr. Fanton?
Yes.
Mrs. Hanchett?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Havey?
Yes.
Mr. Healy?
Yes.
Mrs. Ricketts Swales?
Yes.
Mrs. Root?
Yes.
Mr. Stockin?
Yes.
Mr. Barnes?
Aye.
Mrs. Burdick?
Yes.
Mr. Curran?
Yes.
Mr. Seer?
Yes.
13 ayes, 2 absent.
That's approved.
Resolution intro number 34024, State Environmental Quality Review Act Type 2 resolution regarding Allegheny County Conflict Defender Office Building renovation. This resolution is being offered by the Public Works Committee and has committee approval. It was not pre-filed and it will require a 2/3 vote to consider from the floor.
Motion to consider made by legislator Hanchett, seconded by legislator Root. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? That's carried. Okay, please note 1 no on motion to consider. Motion, that's approved. And on the resolution itself, the motion is made by legislator Fanton, seconded by legislator Demick. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Demick?
Yes.
Mr. Fanton? Mrs. Hanchett?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Havey?
Yes.
Mr. Healy?
Yes.
Mrs. Ricketts Swales?
Yes.
Mrs. Root?
Yes.
Mr. Stockin?
Yes.
Mr. Barnes?
No.
Mrs. Burdick?
Yes.
Mr. Curran? Mr. Seer?
Yes.
11 ayes, 2 noes, 2 absent.
That's approved. How do you prefer the reading of the audit today?
Collectively and by totals, please.
So moved by legislator Stockin, seconded by legislator Fanton. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? That's carried.
General government support, $144,221. Public safety, $45,423.70. Health, $43,445.14. Bus transportation, $109,842.34. Economic assistance and opportunity, $745,027.48. Culture and Recreation, $44,909.82. Home and Community Services, $21,050.58. Employee Benefits, $6,624.01. Our general fund totaled $1,160,544.07. Payroll and taxes totaled $1,381,386.53. Our capital fund totaled $448,685.39. Our other funds totaled $463,097.47, for a grand total of $3,453,713.46.
Motion to approve made by legislator Root, seconded by legislator Hanchett. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Demick?
Yes.
Mr. Fanton?
Yes.
Mrs. Hanchett?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Havy?
Yes.
Mr. Healy?
Yes.
Mrs. Ricketts Swales?
Yes.
Mrs. Root?
Yes.
Mr. Stockin?
Yes.
Mr. Barnes?
Aye.
Mrs. Burdick?
Yes.
Mr. Curran?
Yes.
Mr. Seer? 13 ayes, 2 absent.
Audit is approved. Is there anything for the good of the order today? If not, would anyone care to make a motion to adjourn? Motion by legislator Ricketts Swales, seconded by legislator Havy. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? We are adjourned.